All right, with one win in the last 5 Premier League games, it is probably becoming a bit more evident that Erik ten Hag's tenure at Man United may be coming to an end at the end of the season. So now we're going to have a chat about the next Manchester United manager. We've got the latest odds in the top 10 who are linked with the United job. We're going to maybe concentrate in the top 5 and rank them as to who we think is most likely to be in charge of United next season. So just to give you an idea of the top 10, Tuchel's in there, Gareth Southgate, Thomas Frank, Graham Potter, Roberto De Zerbi, Zinedine Zidane, Stuttgart's Sebastian Hoeneß, Hansi Flick, Ruben Amorim, and Kieran McKenna. Nasty. Let's look at, we'll say, the top 5. Tuchel, Southgate, Thomas Frank, Graham Potter, and Roberto De Zerbi. Out of them, who do you think is maybe the 5th most likely to get in as the United manager next season?
Most likely, or who
5th
I
most
would
likely.
place
Let's
fifth?
work our way. Let's go with you then.
Who I would place a 5th, without a doubt. Not only the top 5, the top 10 here, Gareth Southgate. He's bottom tier for me. I would not take him whatsoever. And although, you know, I've been vocal that I want to keep Ten Hag, I think even a lot of people who don't want to keep Ten Hag would take Ten Hag over Gareth Southgate. I'd be confident in saying that.
I know we've had this conversation a few weeks ago, but I still have this inkling that I think Southgate, forget about the style of play, because currently you have no style of play. He has a style of play, not to the United fans' liking, but the culture that he brings, what he did with England and how he changed that culture to make it an enjoyable camp that everybody is happy to go to, where all the rival clubs are actually getting on with each other. Is that not what United need to sort out those players and the horrible attitudes they have and bring in a different culture to the players?
I 100% see where you're coming from, and I think that he probably, you know, undoubtedly, I've said the glaring issue at the moment is just the pessimism around the club, and undoubtedly he could do something about that for sure, but I think you need to look at the football side of it for once, and I think United need to look at somebody who can do this over the long haul, and I couldn't see Southgate in that job more than 2 seasons.
What do you make of Southgate to United?
I'd like to see it. Like,
as a Liverpool fan?
Yeah, I'd like to see it, but ultimately, I mean, I think you could go worse than him. I'm not moved by any of the names. I'm very buoyed with the names that you've mentioned there. Like, I think United now have to get with the fact that they're not the attractive club for managers that they once were, hence the names on that sheet. There's a couple of names there I think could do better. I think Tuchel will probably end up at United. I can see that happening 100%. I think he's the favourite at the moment. And I don't think that'd be awful. He's not a manager I rate that highly, but he's a really good cup manager. Obviously, Champions League winner with Chelsea. If it wasn't for Manuel Neuer, I think he could be a 2-time Champions League winner. Would have been with Bayern this season. So yeah, I think he's most likely. But as I said, I'm not really too annoyed with any of the names that you've mentioned there.
If Sir Jim and Sir David are going to go for Southgate, it'll be glaringly obvious, because he won't be able to announce it before the Euros or during the Euros, because it will be a circus. And if there is that gap, it'll be clear that they're going for Southgate. So there will be signs if they are going for it.
Yeah.
Nasty, let's move up. The 4th most likely, or even in your opinion, according to that list. Who would you
Out
put
of
in?
the top 5?
Out of the top 5, yeah.
I would personally go with Graham Potter, and I don't think he's a bad manager at all. I just think that he's come out of a job where he's had so much pressure on him, a lot of resources and quite a lot of money. He'd be going back into a similar situation, and I think that potentially in the future he will be ready for these jobs, but I don't think this is the time. I think he needs to go back to somebody like a Brighton, you know, someone at that level. I don't think he needs to jump right back into that, so I would put him at 4th here.
Do you think there's something brewing with Potter and United after him turning down Ajax there last week, I think it was, or 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, I could see it happening. Like, I mean, he's been one of the favourites for quite a while, and he gets a lot of unnecessary stick. He did a great job at Brighton, and ultimately he left wonderful foundations at Brighton, so De Zerbi could come in, and you know, his job was made so much easier right from the get-go. So I think Potter wouldn't even be a bad shout. As I said, I think United fans need to put out of their minds, put out of their heads that they're going to attract somebody huge or something. Like, I mean, ultimately, you need somebody who's going to fix that squad, try and build something. Potter has done that, to be fair, at Brighton. Like,
Potter doesn't have a strong enough personality for United.
Probably not.
Unless there's a sporting director coming in. If he comes in as the head coach and not the manager, and a sporting director comes in, because I can't see Potter fixing the attitudes at United.
He has a stronger personality than Ten Hag, though. Ten
He
Hag
does,
has
100%,
a really weak
yeah.
personality.
100%.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think, like, Potter spoke about the difficulties and the challenges struggling with the pressure of Chelsea.
Yeah.
United
is
nothing in comparison.
3-4
I don't
times
think
better.
it'll happen, but as I said, I think they could go worse.
Yeah,
than
I think it's
Potter.
absolutely, night and day, that to the Southgate show, but I'm still not taking him as my number one.
Your number 3, Nasty. We still got the likes of Zidane, Amorim in there. You got Thomas Frank, De Zerbi.
Yeah, number 3, I'm actually going to go with Thomas Frank. I really like what he's done at Brentford. And a lot of people would put De Zerbi here, but I think that Frank has had a lot lower resources to work with than De Zerbi. As Morley referred to, he had a great foundations left him by Potter, great fundamentals, and that was testament to how he had Brighton playing so well. Frank has essentially built this himself, and I think he's been slept on, one of the most slept on managers in the league. So I put him 3 here. And to be honest, I wouldn't be too, I wouldn't detest him at United getting appointed.
There wasn't massive rumours with Thomas Frank to Liverpool, but when you heard that, how was your vibe, Jonathan?
I didn't like the people who were dismissing him. I mean, as Nasty said there, he's quality, and he's built that at Brentford pretty much all by himself. Brentford play a nice style of football. They've become now an established Premier League side, and let's remember that Brentford are a pretty small club, so I think Frank has done a great job. Again, I think you could go a lot worse than him.
Nasty, you're second most likely to become the next Man United manager.
I'd go with Thomas Tuchel. Proven, a cup winner, as Morley says, and I do think he would have short-term success with United. The reason I'm not putting him number 1 is because, similar to the Southgate point, but also not really comparable, because I don't think Southgate would do well in any capacity. But I don't think Tuchel would exceed 2 seasons at this job, which is kind of deterring me from putting him at number 1. But I do think he would have short-term success, so I'd put him number 2.
Yeah, I agree. He's a short-term kind of manager, isn't he?
Yeah.
He had a short stint at Chelsea. It's a very short stint at Bayern.
But was he only a short stint at Chelsea because he didn't get on with the new owners coming in? Like, he was doing pretty well at Chelsea, and it was only the fact that he did clash, and he seems to always clash with the directors and all that. So that's probably would be a problem with the new guys coming in. But I don't feel like he was given a real chance, because
I agree.
I've got some Chelsea mates and they were distraught when he left Chelsea.
Yeah, Chelsea fans were absolutely gutted. All over social media, the tears when Tuchel got sacked, and I completely agree with them. It was a ridiculous decision, and what you sacked Tuchel to bring in Mauricio Pochettino. I mean, and have Chelsea been any better with Pochettino? No, I'd say they've been worse. So I mean, it was a weird decision. I think that just buys into the whole Chelsea are far too brash with sacking managers and etc. Yeah.
We talk about personality. I think he would have the personality for United.
Yeah,
I think he would.
Yeah.
And Nasty, what are we saying? Your most likely candidate to be the next Man United manager starting next season?
Give me Kieran McKenna. Give me Kieran McKenna.
There we go.
Give me Kieran McKenna. If we're sacking Ten Hag, give me Kieran McKenna. Let's go back to base, back to the Ole era, a man who should never have been sacked at United. Ole should never have been sacked. And give me his protege, who has proved himself and brought this Ipswich side to new heights. I want Kieran McKenna. If we are getting a new manager, number 1 candidate.
Well,
Don't forget that Kieran McKenna is a man that players within the squad said his drills were rudimentary and too basic.
Are we going to take these players' word
No, but
for it?
that's what I mean. Like,
I'm not taking these players' word for it. I want more than half of them gone.
yeah,
I'm not taking
who's
their
been
word for it.
proven right now.
Yeah,
In that, like, that just shows
100%.
you the rot in this United. dressing
Absolutely.
room.
I want Kieran McKenna.
I honestly thought we were holding out for Zidane.
me
I don't.
too, yeah.
Zidane is close to Southgate for me. I don't want him whatsoever. I think he was absolutely blessed with these Madrid sides for 3 years in a row where he won the Champions Leagues. I don't think if you put him at another side, he's even coming close to that success. So I don't want to be this sort of test trial for Zidane. That's not what I want. Give me Kieran McKenna.
So would you accept Kieran McKenna coming in, having 1 or 2 seasons, kind of just getting used to being Manchester United
Absolutely.
manager, maybe getting 7th or 8th, but then you feel like long term he is the answer.
Absolutely, because I think at least we'd be getting closer to building something. I think with Zidane, we're not going to be getting close to building something.
Okay.
That's what I'm going with.
So the days of a quick fix are over. You need a long-term plan.
We're not in a position to have a quick fix. We need a full turnaround. So
Alright.
restructuring.
Well, let us know if you are watching this video who you think should be the next Manchester United manager in the comments. Do you agree with Nasty? Should it be Kieran McKenna? And of course, give us a subscribe, give us a like as well, and follow the lads. Jonathan Morley, LFC on TikTok, Jonathan Morley 97 on Instagram and across Instagram and TikTok. The Kieran McKenna fan club, it is Nasty _2K.